You've got to be kidding me. Eating fish can prevent crime? Oh hey, it's Nate. I've just been checking out these ridiculous headlines. Seriously, listen to this one. Report claims ice cream sales grow due to an increase of shark attacks? How about this one? Studies show gum chewing leads to higher math scores? It makes you wonder about the way some reporters use data for their stories. Could eating fish actually cause a reduction in crime? I've been helping my friend Maddie conduct background research for a series she's been working on for the local newspaper. She's looking into the correlation between extracurricular activities and the grade point average, or GPA, of high school students. Maddie was thinking of making tomorrow's headline read, "Doing more activities will increase your GPA." She needs to know if this is a true statement. To answer Maddie's question, we're going to investigate the correlation coefficient. Let's get the scoop and get another problem solved. Here's the newsroom at the paper where Maddie works. Soon it will be teeming with reporters and editors trying to make deadlines. Maddie has been citing a study that includes an interesting scatter plot. The x-axis shows the number of extracurricular activities a student participates in, and the y-axis shows grade point average for that student. For example, this student participates in 3 activities and has a GPA of 3.2. Just by glancing at the plot, we can see that there seems to be a trend. The more activities for the student, the higher the GPA. The scatter plot allows us to visualize the relationship between 2 variables. Maddie needs to know the strength of the relationship. There's a single number called the correlation coefficient that quantifies the strength of a linear relationship between 2 variables. In this case, extracurricular activities and GPA. We can find the correlation coefficient by using a formula which requires the mean and standard deviation of each of the 2 data sets, number of activities and GPA. The correlation coefficient is denoted R. We could calculate the correlation coefficient by hand, but most people determine the correlation coefficient using a calculator or computer. We're not going to focus on why this formula works, but rather understand what the correlation coefficient means. For this data, our correlation coefficient turns out to be 82/100ths. Our next task is to figure out exactly what this number means. A correlation coefficient is always a value between -1 and +1 and indicates the strength of the association between 2 variables. The strongest correlation occurs when this number is equal to -1 or +1. +1 indicates all the data points lie on a line with a positive slope, like this. So as one variable increases, the other does too. While -1 indicates that they lie on a straight line with a negative slope, like this. As one variable increases, the other decreases. These scatter plots reflect strong associations. But what would a weak association look like? Notice as the correlation coefficient moves away from 1 or -1 and R approaches 0, the data doesn't have a visible pattern or trend. I reminded Maddie, the closer the correlation coefficient is to positive or -1, the stronger the association between the variables. So, where does that leave us? Our correlation coefficient of 82/100ths signals a moderately strong relationship between the number of extracurricular activities and grade point averages. In fact, different industries or fields have different thresholds for what they consider a strong relationship. For example, in the field of psychology, 82/100ths is considered a strong correlation, but it might be considered to be a moderate correlation in pharmacology. So, now Maddie needs to write her headline. One possibility is, participating in more extracurricular activities causes higher GPAs. If that's the headline, some parents will rush to sign their children up for more extracurricular activities, thinking their GPAs are going to skyrocket. Maddie is worried that she may be jumping to conclusions. This goes back to her original question. Does a strong 82/100ths correlation mean that participating in more activities causes a higher GPA? Not necessarily. There are 3 possible theories. Theory 1. Participating in many extracurricular activities causes a high GPA. Theory 2. High GPA causes a student to participate in many extracurricular activities. Theory 3. Neither of these causes the other. There may be many factors influencing both variables. These additional factors are called lurking variables. Possible lurking variables might be a strong work ethic, or an income level that provides for coaches and tutors, or a social group that encourages activities and studying, or maybe other things we haven't thought of. So again, just because two variables have a strong correlation doesn't mean that one must cause the other. However, a strong correlation allows us to make predictions and indicates that further investigation is worthwhile. To summarize, the correlation coefficient quantifies the strength of a linear relationship between two variables. It is a value between -1 and 1, and the closer the value is to -1 or 1, the stronger the linear relationship. But remember, strong correlation does not mean causation. So what will tomorrow's headlines read? Stop the presses! It will have to read, correlation does not imply causation. Problem solved.